Hello, this talk is on Western military philosophy and how it affects the way that we do combat sports like MMA, boxing, and this will lead on to what we think of as fairness, respect, and honour. Okay, now why is it that we go to war? Right? This is a question a lot of people have asked. You know, it seems senseless a lot of the time. A lot of people get killed, right? But then it might come back to the idea of egotistical honour. You know, I've I've been wronged. I need to hit back. Okay. Um, if you feel this way, it's probably because you've got an offence to your sense of fairness. You know, I didn't treat anyone badly, but you know they treated me badly. Now, if you're talking about the actual methods of war, all right, a good book to read would be, of course, Clausewitz's On War or Tom Clancy's Into the Storm with General Fred Franks. That's the actual methods of war detailed there. Of course, when in war you want to be absolutely ruthless, and there is no room for maybe sportsmanship, but perhaps there is a room for mercy. Um, a good philosophy for soldiers and sports people to read are two books that I've got here. Okay, firstly, you want to actually go and do the sport, which helps. If you're into MMA, you might want to try and do boxing. If you're starting out, do jiu-jitsu, do Muay Thai. I'd say if you're already a runner, or if you're doing a sport, good sports to learn for building up when you're cross training are rugby and football, because they get your cardio up. Okay, but if you're also looking to stimulate your mind, right, would be if you don't do kendo or Japanese fencing with swords, a good book to read would be Miyamoto Musashi's Book of the Five Rings. Now, this book talks about Zen Buddhism, right? But don't let that put you off. It's quite common sense. It basically says the whole book is basically about being a ruthless warrior and using the concept of Zen Buddhism, which is learn a skill and do it. Don't learn a skill, think about it and do it. That's basically it. It's common sense. Another book that's good for soldiers particularly is because it's got self-discipline. It teaches you self-discipline, toughness, and mercy as well, because we don't, in the British Army, you don't shoot civilians on purpose. Is the book, this book by Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. I've mentioned it about 3 times in my other videos. You can check them out to find out more about that one. Okay, if you're doing MMA, good books to read are Mark Hackmaker's Boxing Mastery, and also Mastery in Jiu-Jitsu. If you want to learn more about by Renzo Gracie, if you want to learn more about the history of boxing, it's a pictorial history of boxing, and it goes all the way back to the bare knuckle days. I don't know if that book should still be reissued. All right. See, most of my weight training is done by lifting these books. All right. Now we talk about sportsmanship, and what is sportsmanship often talked about in the philosophy of sportsmanship is fairness, honour, respect. But what do those words actually mean? As I said, we go to war over somebody offended us or did injury to us. You can think about terrorism. Terrorists have no fairness, respect, or honour. That's what probably defines them away from being what a soldier is. A soldier is somebody who takes does orders, but he does so within his own moral framework. Okay, I think that distinguishes us from the from the Western way of war from the Eastern way of war. Although I mentioned this the book about the samurai, um, the book of the five rings, he does say that there was ways that you could be merciful, although the samurai were known for being very terrifying warriors. But what is fairness? Is fairness the same thing as honour? No, not really. Honour comes from being fair, from your sense of fairness being offended, or that if you're honourable, you have a high degree, a high sense of fairness. But that doesn't just mean that you're a nice person. It also means you could have a darker side as well. If somebody offends you, and you're egotistical and you've got honour, you would naturally want revenge. You know. But what is respect? I would say respect is a mutual. I would say respect and fairness are quite close together, but they're not quite the same thing. I'd say fairness is a mutual respect for each other people. Therefore, when you're doing MMA and you knock someone down, or choke someone out, or submit them, you stop there. You don't carry on, and basically with jiu-jitsu is more dangerous than boxing. In some situations you could kill somebody by strangling, by asphyxiation. Also, arm bars. If you carried on doing an arm bar, you can break the arm. In boxing, you can obviously there'd be more deaths in boxing than in MMA. But I think this egotistical honour that's taken too far in war and in grudge matches, okay, because of course where all martial arts came from, if you watch my video The Western Way of War, or Western martial arts, it comes from where they used to teach philosophy and also Pancratian, which was where boxing and jiu-jitsu originally came from, because it was taught to the Roman legionaries. It's if you look up Pancratian on YouTube, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like basically the Roman version of jiu-jitsu or MMA. Now, I think if you're going to do MMA, and you have to of course have controlled aggression, but you also gives you self-discipline, which goes back to Stoic philosophy. And I think the for somebody who's trying to do something where they need to take action rather than think, you learn about the book that I mentioned on the samurai, about don't learn, don't think about it, then it'll be a skill. Okay. I hope I've cleared up the distinction between fairness, respect, and honour. I think if you're talking about honour, it's something that you say you'll do something and you'll do it, and then you will be respected, right? But as long as you're not egotistical with it, people will then also think you're fair, because you can let a slight go, that you're even and fair with everybody and you treat everybody the same. I think that's a sense of fairness that can be respected. And so this is my talk on the Western philosophy of war. I think the defining thing about it is the ruthless application of force, but then also the ability to have mercy and reconciliation.